Hey everyone, welcome back to Trowel and Error Gardening. So this intro is actually at a different time from the rest of this video, and the reason is because for some reason my camera didn't record audio for a few of the clips that we tried to do, including the intro. So today's video is covering the pepper patch. And the fertilizing of the pepper patch and the staking of the pepper patch. So those things are in there. There's also some discussion in this one about Japanese beetles, which we'll cover a little bit more. That one, the audio did work, so those clips will be good to use. But for the pepper patch, some of the discussion that I had was specifically talking about how we fertilize the pepper plants, and what we do is we use Espoma products. We have a lot. We try to use most of their stuff, but what we use primarily is this Garden Tone, and it's an organic fertilizer, so there's no concern about anything in this that's not supposed to be in there, that you don't want to eat or anything like that. It's supposed to be good for the vegetables and the fruits and whatever else, but the way that we apply this is we apply it, just pouring it around basically around the root ball, not up against the stem, but around like the edge, and then you just want to kind of rake it in, and there'll be some video showing us doing that, so you can see what I'm talking about, but that's the big piece of what was missing in the original video that we tried to take. But that being said, I also want to take this opportunity, because one thing I didn't do is I didn't really give a good tour of the peppers themselves and explain some of the issues when planting these. So I have a total of 9 pepper plants here. I had 8 to begin with. I lost 2, added 1 more, added another 1, and then picked up my 9th one out of the blue. Wasn't expecting to get one. But essentially I have them set up here so you can see. So I have a ghost pepper, and what's kind of cool is that my wife, she's super into label making and all that stuff, made me a couple of labels, and in there it shows just how hot it is, as well as what brand, how many Scovilles. So there's that, and then there's a warning, because anytime you're dealing with ghost peppers, reapers, all of these crazy hot peppers, you don't want to be messing with them with your hands, because they will get that oil will get on you, and then you touch anything and it's over. So that's one. This one, which I do not have labeled right here, is Alter Ego. I don't have a lot of information on that one, other than the fact that my mother-in-law grew this one from seed from a harvest that they had at their house last year. So pretty cool that we got that going. Hungarian Hot Wax. This is a medium pepper. I don't know if I can move the leaves out of the way, but also same brand, Chef Jeff's is the ghost pepper. It's one we can find here locally. And then habanero. This is another spicy one, and you can see another Chef Jeff. And there's a few in there. This one's a little bit slower. And then I've got this guy. Now this one is just incredible, the super chili. It is also a Chef Jeff plant, but look at how many peppers are on this thing. I mean, it is just insane. It is this thing, when all those turn red, it's going to be one heck of a harvest. That is an awesome plant. And then I have 2 jalapenos. One is the Mucho Nacho, and it is a Chef Jeff, and it has already given me quite a few good jalapenos. And then there's this jalapeno, which We forgot on the label to put what it was. This is a grande jalapeno from Bonnie's Plants, and it is really giving me some good ones. And then I have my sweet banana. This one is a Bonnie's Plant as well. These peppers are full of flavor. They're very sweet, and it has been kicking out some good ones too. You see some there that are ready to go, or getting close to ready to go. I mean, they'll get almost 6 inches long sometimes. Oh, and then, I almost forgot. And then this was my out of the blue, wasn't expecting to get one. It is a sweet mini red pepper. It's like a snacking kind of pepper. So he's a little bit behind because I got him late. But you see I got a couple of peppers on there. So, and I use these 5-gallon buckets. I started the 5-gallon buckets a couple of years ago. As you can see, I've also built a rack to hold them all. And one other thing is that every one of them is on a drip. So they all get watered every day. Even this guy, I added one that runs through. So with the 5-gallon bucket, so in my neck of the woods here, in this house, I don't really have a good plot of land to plant these things in the ground. Now, of course, planting them in the ground is probably way better than planting in pots will ever be. You'll probably get much bigger plants. You'll probably get much bigger harvests. However, if you don't have the space, it's good to know that a simple 5-gallon bucket can give you everything that you need. It allows these plants to grow up nice and big. They'll still have to be staked and everything, but they will grow, and you will harvest some plants. Now, you can use 5-gallon buckets for tomatoes. You can use them for all kinds of different vegetables, whatever you want in your garden. But it allows you to, let's say I lived in an apartment complex and all I had was a little balcony, right? I could put these buckets out there and I could grow these on my balcony. It's that easy. And all you have to do is make sure you drill a couple of holes in the bottom. That's really it. And then, of course, obviously need to water it. And then fertilize, like I talked about. And then, of course, when they get tall, you want to stake them so that they don't fall over. But that's going to be it for me for the intro. The rest of it's going to have to be voiceovered because the sound didn't work, but we'll get that done. And then we'll catch you at the end of the video. So to begin, we just take the garden tone and we're just going to sprinkle it around like you see here. And we're going to do it on all the peppers. It's easier to do it on all your plants at once, and then we can do the raking, on all of them on the back end. But just making sure you get it around the edges so that it doesn't sit right up against the stem. Sometimes you'll get some on the leaves. It's fine. You can shake them off. But we're going to do that across all the peppers, all 9 plants. And then we'll eventually move on and we'll start using a rake to kind of, get it into the ground. You want it to be somewhat under the surface of the soil that you've got. And you can also use fertilizers on a lot of plants up front, but I would not recommend that for peppers. It seems like the fertilizers when you plant actually end up doing damage to the plant instead. And you don't want to pour it right on the stem like you just saw there. Make sure it's around the edge. And then here, showing the raking. This is what we do. You just kind of rake it in. You want to let it get mixed into the soil really well. And that's basically it. That's fertilizing your vegetables. Make sure you use something organic. Don't use like a flour food, like a Miracle-Gro flour food or anything like that. It's got other stuff in it that you don't want on your vegetables. Like I said, we use Espoma. Definitely recommend their products, but if you have your own favorite, then keep using it. But once you've got it all raked in there, then that's it. I mean, essentially your plants are fertilized, and you're going to want to do that maybe once a month or so, just to make sure that they're still getting enough food to keep producing. But that's it on the fertilizing. So we've already done the fertilizing. We are now going to stake the peppers up. For that, you can use really any kind of wood stake. It doesn't matter what it is, but I particularly like these bamboo sticks. They are thinner. A lot of times when you go to a hardware store, the stakes that you can buy, like tomato stakes and stuff, are wide. And I don't like shoving the wide stakes in next to the roots, because honestly you're just going to break a bunch of the roots when you do it. So you can just get any one of these, and I'll leave them their total length, but you can cut them down as well. Not all of these peppers are going to require stakes. The ghost pepper, the alter ego, the habanero, and the super chili, and right now they're in pretty good bush form, so they're not going to sag or anything like that. But you look at the banana sweet pepper, the 2 jalapenos, and then the sweet red over there, they're very tall and they're very straight up, which those are the ones that you got to worry about are probably going to start to lean over. So we like to stake them a little early before they start to fall. And to do it, it's very simple. You just take whatever stake you get, you find a good spot in the ground, and you just push it down through. And then what we'll do is we'll take just they have these plant ties. They come in all different types. Some of them are little thin wire type. This is like a bread tie looking one, but you just come up about, I don't know, say halfway, maybe 3/4, wind it through. And then one thing to note, you don't want to tighten it super tight, because all you're doing is trying to give it some support. So you just get it close. One thing you can do is, I don't know if you can see it, but stick your finger in the, in between it, the bread tie and the stem, and tighten against your finger so that you can get the twists on it. And then when you let go, it'll be loose and your plant can still move around a little bit. You want it to be able to move a little bit. If you make it too tight, it'll actually start to cut into the stem, and that can actually damage your plant. And that's it. And once you've got them all staked up, then all you'll have to do is, as the pepper plant grows up, and it starts to need support higher up, you just add ties as it goes, and that'll keep your pepper plants nice and tall. It's the same idea as what you do for tomato plants. I'm sure there's plenty of others. We only grow peppers for vegetables here. I don't try to grow everything else because we just don't have the space here in this house. But that's it. That is staking your peppers. We're going to use the Captain Jack's dead bug brew, excuse me, and we're going to just spray this on the plants. It's that easy. And that's it. And now hopefully the bugs that are eating up my leaves will get out of town. Today I want to talk about something that is extremely frustrating, and I know any gardener will understand my frustration. But this year, really last year, it started last year, we had some really beautiful plants last year, a lot of annuals. We didn't do as many annuals this year, but our annuals got absolutely decimated last year, and it was very, very frustrating to see such beautiful plants go down because of Japanese beetles. So this year we felt like we were having some luck. We weren't finding any Japanese beetles, and then lo and behold, today I find that my beautiful rose tree is completely covered in Japanese beetles, and they are just destroying that plant right now. So we are going to do some treatments on the rose tree. We also picked up some Japanese beetle traps. Now, this is a bit of a controversial thing, because a lot of people believe that if you put the traps up, that you are going to draw all of the Japanese beetles within a pretty big radius of your house to your property. The way we're looking at this, though, is that if the traps can get them and fill up, keep them off of our flowers, then it's worth it. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to put some here in the backyard, and then we're going to put some up in the front, because we're also losing some of our plants in the front now because of Japanese beetles. So we're going to do that. We'll show you what we're doing, and we'll also show you one of the ways that we get rid of the Japanese beetles that are on a plant once we find them. There's sprays you can use, and there's all kinds of other methods, but we don't do that. I almost forgot one thing I did want to mention that is very important right now, because we're talking about Japanese beetles, and that is Japanese beetles come from the grubs that are under your lawn. So it is very important to try to help keep this stuff down, that if you're going to spend the money to do weed and feed and you know, and fertilizers throughout the year, spend the money to do grub control. There are plenty of products out there that are specifically for grub control. There are many out there. I used a Spectricide product that is for more than just grubs. It was also a flea and tick. It was ants, everything. Use something that will target grubs, or you will have this problem with the Japanese beetles. This rose bush, or rose tree, excuse me, that I have is something I've wanted forever. I love rose trees. We've just never really, we weren't really as into, or as oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? We weren't into gardening near as much, you know, back then as we are now. But we finally have a space for one, and I'll show you. So right here, this rose, I mean, is just absolutely gorgeous. And it excited me when we saw this one, because the color was such a deep red and pink. But what's happening right now is there are just tons of these little jerks hanging out on my rose plant, and I mean, they are everywhere. And you see all of these diseased looking buds now. This is not what it looked like 3 days ago, I promise. So in just a couple of days, the Japanese beetles have taken over, eating on my roses. You see them right there. They're flying out of there now that I'm making them mad. So I want to give you guys some information that you may find helpful when you're looking at your flower. So not only will you see damage on your buds, but one thing you can look for, and it's what tipped us off today, I don't know if I can get it on camera or not, hopefully I can, is on that leaf. If you see right here a bunch of little black dots, and I mean, they are everywhere, that is the Japanese beetles droppings. If you are seeing these all over your leaves, then I'm here to tell you, you have Japanese beetles. And sometimes they might be hard to find in certain plants, because they'll get, you know, they'll be further down in and you're not seeing them, and so on and so forth. So you're going to want to look for that. And they're not only attacking my rose bush, but they're also attacking my hibiscus, which is another must-have for me. As you can see, my hibiscus is beautiful. It is one of the many plants in our garden down here that I specifically wanted in a garden. and I just don't want them to be destroyed. So we're going to try to treat these plants today, as well as get the traps up, and hopefully we can get this under control before too long, so we don't end up losing everything with these plants.
So there's several different ways that you can handle some of these Japanese beetles. Today we're just going to be going through and doing three things really. One, we're going to remove all of them that we can see, and we're going to put them into a tub of soapy water. This will help to stop those pheromones that they release that draws and tells other Japanese beetles to come to this area, because there's, you know, really good flowers to feast on. So unfortunately, you have to be out here a lot to be doing that. And so for the times that we can't be out here doing that, we are going to set some traps. We're going to try them out and see how that works. And then after we do this, we are going to spray everything down. Once the sun settles a little bit, we're going to spray with, I think, the Dead Bug Brew as well by Captain Jack's. And just spray everything that we see that's being attacked right now by these Japanese beetles. We have them in the front on our lilies. And so once they're in your yard, they're gonna start finding everywhere to go. So I'm just gonna start going in. You can see these are dead anyway. So we are gonna go ahead and we're just gonna deadhead these and drop them into the soapy water as much as we can. If you go in the morning or the evening, they are actually less active and they are easier to knock down. They're a little slower moving, if you will. Right now, we just wanted to go ahead and try to get this done today. We didn't want to wait until much later, so hopefully we can get enough of them.
So look at this. I literally just put this up 30 seconds ago, and they're already flocking to this bait bag. He went down in there. There goes another one. He's down in there. So this is what we're using. Spectricide Bag-A-Bug. It's a Japanese beetle trap, okay? And it's this simple. You just put this little lure in there, and it's gonna draw them to it. They land in here thinking they're gonna be all cool, and then they just fall down into this bag, and then they can't get back out. So in 30 seconds, it's already started pulling Japanese beetles in. And what does that tell you? So hopefully having this over here will help intercept a lot of these guys and keep them off of my beautiful rose, my beautiful hibiscus, and any other beautiful plants that we have over there, because quite frankly, I don't have patience for these guys. I'm tired of them destroying my flowers. So now that we've done all of the peppers, now we're you know, trying to clear up the Japanese beetle issues. Let us know if y'all are having the same problems and anything you guys are doing that we didn't show you that is working, because we are looking for everybody to have a place where they can look and find information on how to stop these invasive bugs. Again, thank you for watching. Let us know if you liked the video, and we will see you next time. Welcome back to Trowel and Garden. Or, as we talked about earlier, as I get attacked by a wasp. We're going to just spray this on the plants. It's that easy. Got to turn it on first.